My child, before you turn off the light tonight, stay with me for just a few minutes. I know what you do every night before you finally let yourself lie down. I know the extra check of the front door, even though you already checked it once. I know the way you listen for the small chirp of the alarm system before your shoulders can finally drop. I know you keep your phone charged and within reach, not out of habit, but out of a quiet, constant awareness that something could happen while you sleep, and no one would know until morning. Sleep should be the one place you are fully safe, fully at rest, fully unaware of the world for a few hours. But for you, it has become something you have to manage, guard, prepare for. One more responsibility layered on top of an already tired day. Tonight, I want to tell you something I need you to carry with you into every bedtime for the rest of your life. I will guard your sleep tonight, not loosely, not distantly, but the way a parent stands at the door of a child's room, fully alert, fully present, so that the child inside can finally, completely let go. This particular fear rarely gets spoken aloud because it sounds almost embarrassing when you try to put it into words. I'm afraid of what might happen while I'm asleep. But it is one of the oldest fears a human heart carries, the fear of the hours when you cannot see, cannot hear, cannot act, cannot protect. You have carried it quietly, managing it with locks and lights and habits no one else fully understands, because admitting how much it costs you feels like admitting weakness. It is not weakness, it is the natural response of a heart that loves deeply and has learned, sometimes the hard way, that the world can be unpredictable. But tonight I want to gently separate two things you have been holding as one. Being someone who loves and cares deeply, and being the only thing standing between your household and harm. Only one of those was ever true. The other has always belonged to me. You do not have to stay half awake to keep everyone safe. You do not have to be the only line of defense between your household and whatever the night might bring. I was already standing watch long before you learned to worry, and I am not tired the way you are tired. Stay with me tonight. Let me show you every place this vigilance has been wearing you down, and let me show you what it means to finally, fully sleep. If you can hear my voice tonight, do one thing for me. Type, "Amen, you are guarding my sleep tonight," in the comments below. Let it be your declaration that watching over the night is no longer only your job. And if this message found you tonight, subscribe and turn on the bell beside my name. I bring a new message of healing every single morning and every single night, because rest should never have to wait for a schedule that works around fear. Now, my child, let me sit with you here in the dark, and let me tell you everywhere I have seen this vigilance living inside your nights. I see you checking the locks on the front door, then the back door, then the front door again, unable to fully trust the first check, needing the ritual repeated before your mind will allow your body to finally lie down. I see you lying in bed listening for the small chirp of the security system arming itself, needing to hear that confirmation before you can let your shoulders soften into the mattress. I see you keeping your phone charged and within arm's reach every single night, not from habit, but from the quiet awareness that a fall, a chest pain, an emergency could happen while you sleep, and you need to be able to reach for help the instant you wake. I see you sleeping lightly, half alert, unable to fall into a truly deep sleep because some part of you has appointed itself the one who must notice if anything in the house goes wrong overnight. I see the specific fear that visits you some nights, the fear of a heart attack, a stroke, some silent medical emergency happening while you are unconscious, and no one finding you until it's too late. I see your spouse now sleeping in another room because of a CPAP machine, a monitor, health equipment neither of you asked for. And I see you lying alone now, straining to hear sounds through the wall that used to simply be a breath away. I see the nightlight you now keep on, one you never needed in the decades before. A small, quiet admission that the dark feels different to you than it used to. I see you running through the escape plan in your mind before you sleep. Which door? Which window? How fast you could move if a fire started. A mental rehearsal you never used to need to do. I see you living alone, wondering in the quiet seconds before sleep, who exactly would know if something happened to you overnight? How long it might be before anyone checked? I see you jolted awake by a nightmare at 3 in the morning, heart pounding, and I see how long it takes afterward for your body to believe it is safe enough to fall back asleep. I see you lying half awake until you hear a car pull into the driveway, a grandchild or a child arriving home late, unable to fully rest until you know they are safe inside. I see the quiet vulnerability underneath all of this. The plain fact that for 7 or 8 hours every night, you are unconscious, unable to protect yourself or anyone else, and how deeply unsettling that has become for you as the years have gone on. I see the medical alert pendant sitting on your nightstand, a comfort and a reminder in the very same object, proof of both how well you are being cared for and how vulnerable you have become. I see you waking 2-3 times a night just to check that your spouse is still breathing evenly beside you, unable to fully sleep until you've confirmed it with your own ears. I see the unfamiliar creaks and settling sounds of an aging house at night, sounds that used to mean nothing and now make you sit up straight in the dark, listening. I see you praying, quickly, almost automatically, "God, watch over this house." And I see how hard it still is for you to actually believe you can let go afterward and sleep deeply. I see the quiet fear underneath so many of your nights. Not fear of the dark itself, but the fear of simply not waking up at all, a fear you have never said out loud to anyone. I see the sheer exhaustion of night after night of this vigilance, a tiredness that never gets a chance to fully resolve, because even your sleep has become a kind of quiet work. I see you keeping a flashlight, a bat, something within reach of the bed, a small defensive ritual you never used to need, just in case the night ever asks something of you. I see you walking back to the kitchen one more time to confirm the stove is off, the oven is off, even though you already checked it minutes ago, needing the certainty repeated before your mind will let you rest. I see you setting multiple alarms so you don't miss a morning medication or appointment, and I see the anxious half-sleep between each one, afraid of oversleeping through something important. I see the hallway light you now leave on through the night, a small concession to a body that no longer trusts itself to move safely through total darkness if it needs to get up. I see the particular fear of living alone, aware that your routine is visible to anyone paying attention, and the vulnerability that awareness adds to every night you spend behind those doors. I see the dread of sleeping through a phone call from someone you love in crisis, the fear that the one night you finally rest deeply might be the exact night someone needed to reach you. I see you keeping the television or the radio on low through the night, not for entertainment, but because true silence in the house has started to feel like something you'd rather not sit inside of alone. I see the exhausting mental loop of "what would I do if" scenarios playing in your mind before sleep, rehearsing emergencies that haven't happened, spending your last waking energy preparing for dangers that may never come. I see you waking, gasping from a bad dream about losing someone you love. And I see the immediate, urgent need to check that they are still there, still breathing, still safe beside you or down the hall. I see the fear of dying alone in your sleep and not being discovered for days. A fear you have never spoken aloud to anyone, quietly sitting underneath so many of your ordinary nights. I see the empty space where a pet used to sleep, one who used to alert you to every sound, every visitor, every small danger. And I see how much less protected the house feels now that their ears are no longer keeping watch with yours. I see you staying awake through a storm warning, checking radar on your phone, monitoring severe weather long after you should be asleep, unwilling to let your guard down while the sky itself seems unpredictable. I see the guilt you carry for wanting a full night's sleep while someone you love is sick, unwell, or in a season that might need you at any hour, as if wanting rest for yourself were somehow a betrayal of your care for them. I see you checking a security camera app one more time before finally closing your eyes, scanning the porch, the driveway, the backyard, needing that final visual confirmation before your mind will let go. I see the hypervigilance that followed a recent scare, a fall, a health event, a night that genuinely went wrong once. And I see how it has quietly rewired every night since into something closer to standing guard than resting. I see the strange comfort and burden of being the one who always wakes first if something is wrong, the one whose ears are permanently tuned to trouble, carrying that role long after anyone ever formally asked you to. I see you double-checking the window locks in the guest room when your grandchildren stay over, an extra layer of care you never used to think twice about before they were the ones sleeping under your roof. I see you mentally counting every family member before you allow yourself to drift off, making sure in your mind that everyone is exactly where they should be before you can finally rest. I see you waking at the sound of a distant siren, lying still in the dark, wondering for a moment if it's headed toward someone you love, unable to fall back asleep until the sound fades completely. I see the new fear that crept in after hearing about a neighbor's break-in, a fear that has quietly followed you to bed every night since, even though nothing in your own home has actually changed. I see the worry about your own reaction time now, the fear that if something did happen in the night, you might wake confused, slower, less sure-footed than you once were, and less able to respond the way you used to. I see you checking a glucose monitor, a heart monitor, a health app on your phone one final time before bed, needing that last data point about someone you love before you can let yourself stop watching for the night. I see the unease of a first night away from home, a hotel room, a relative's guest bed, without your usual locks, your usual nightlight, your usual rituals, leaving you far more alert than you would be in your own familiar space. I see the quiet fear that your hearing or eyesight isn't what it used to be, the worry that you might not notice danger the way you once could, a fear layered on top of every other nighttime worry you already carry. I see the light, half-awake sleep you learned as a young parent decades ago, a pattern your body never fully unlearned even after the children grew and left. still sleeping as though someone small might need you at any moment. I see you checking the weather app for icy roads before a family member's early morning drive, unable to fully rest until you know the roads will be safe for them to travel. I see you testing the smoke detector, the carbon monoxide alarm, one more time before bed, needing to hear that small, reassuring beep before you can trust the air in your own home enough to sleep. I see you keeping a bag half-packed during wildfire or hurricane season, mentally rehearsing an evacuation you hope never comes, unable to fully relax while the risk sits somewhere on the horizon. I see you lying awake until you hear your spouse's car in the driveway after a night shift, unable to fully rest until you know they made it home safely through the dark. I see the quiet, almost superstitious belief you carry that if you stop worrying, stop checking, stop staying alert, something bad might happen simply because you let your guard down. As if your vigilance itself were the thing keeping danger away. I see you checking that the motion sensor porch light still works, worried it might have burned out without your noticing. One more small system you feel responsible for maintaining before you can trust the dark outside your window. I see the new suspicion that followed a scam call or phishing attempt aimed at you or someone your age. A wariness that now follows you to bed, making even an ordinary late notification on your phone feel like a small threat. I see you sleeping near a baby monitor, turned toward an aging parent's room instead of a child's, listening for every rustle and cough, carrying the same vigilance you once gave an infant, now given to someone at the opposite end of life. I see the fear of a medication's side effects, dizziness, sleepwalking, a fall in the middle of the night. A new layer of caution added to a body you no longer trust quite the way you used to. I see you replaying the day's news before sleep, the crime reports, the disasters, the general uncertainty of the world, carrying all of it silently into your own bedroom long after the television has been turned off. I see the aging dog by your bed, once your fiercest, most alert guardian, now sleeping heavily through sounds it would have caught in its younger years. And I see the quiet grief of realizing even your four-legged protector cannot stand watch the way it once did. I see you checking the oxygen tank, the medical equipment humming somewhere in the house, worried it might malfunction in the hours no one is watching it closely. I see you staying up just a little longer, waiting until everyone else in the house has fallen asleep first, quietly assigning yourself the last watch before you'll finally allow your own eyes to close. I see how the twice-yearly time change unsettles your internal sense of safety, your body's rhythm thrown off just enough to make the usual vigilance feel even more exhausting than normal. I see you praying specifically for a loved one traveling tonight, a truck driver, a service member, a night shift nurse, sending up a quiet request for their safety before you allow yourself to finally close your own eyes. I see you checking that your phone is properly plugged in and charging, needing the certainty of a full battery in case tonight is the night you need it most. I see you speaking a verse of protection over your doorframe or your bed each night, a small sacred ritual. And I see how even after saying it, a residual anxiety sometimes lingers, as if the words alone had to work hard enough to earn your safety. I see you singling out one particular person in your prayers each night, the one with the dangerous job, the fragile health, the situation that worries you most, carrying their safety as a special, heavier weight before you can rest. I see you startled awake by your own smart lights, your own automated devices,
An unexpected click or hum in a house that is supposed to feel controlled and familiar, jolting you upright before you realize it was nothing at all.
I see you lying awake, running through your emergency contact list in your mind, making sure you can still remember every number by heart in case a phone fails you at the exact moment you'd need it most. I see the specific exhaustion of raising an alarm in your own body every time you wake naturally in the night, instantly alert instead of drifting back to sleep the easy way you once could. I see you glancing at the clock every time you stir, calculating how many hours of rest remain, turning even your sleep into something to manage and measure rather than simply receive. I see the quiet moment before you finally drift off, when you hand the night over to hope rather than certainty, not fully knowing what the morning will bring, but choosing one more time to close your eyes anyway. I see all of it, my child. Every extra check of the lock, every straining ear in the dark, every silent fear of what could happen while you are unaware. Every night spent half guarding a house that was never meant to be guarded by you alone. You have been standing watch for so long, haven't you? Doing the job of protecting your home, your family, your own body, even in the hours you were supposed to be resting. No one gave you that job. You simply picked it up, one worried night at a time, because it felt like no one else was doing it. Psalm 121 says, "He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep." I do not need the sleep you need. I am not tired the way you are tired. While you rest, I remain fully awake, fully aware, fully present over everything you have been trying to guard alone. I have been keeping watch since long before you learned to worry about the night. I kept watch over you as an infant when you had no ability at all to protect yourself, and I have not stopped for a single hour since. The watch you have taken up in adulthood was never actually required of you. It was a weight you picked up out of love, and I am honored by that love, even as I gently ask you to set the weight back down. So tonight, I am guarding your sleep. I am guarding the locks you have already checked twice. I already know every door in your home is secure, and I am adding my own watch on top of the one you have already done, so you do not need a third check tonight. I am guarding the silence after the alarm chirps. I hear it too, and I am not going to sleep after it arms. I remain on watch the entire night, in every room, at every window, long after you have finally closed your eyes. I am guarding your body through the night. I am present in every heartbeat, every breath. And if anything were ever truly wrong, I am not asleep the way you fear being unaware. I am already attentive to exactly what your body needs, even while you cannot be. I am guarding your rest even while you stay half alert. I am gently teaching your nervous system that it is safe to release its watch, because mine never lifts, not even for a moment. I am guarding you against the fear of a silent emergency in the night. Whatever your body may ever need, I am present in it before you are even aware something is wrong. And I am not limited by unconsciousness the way you are. I am guarding the space between you and your spouse now sleeping in another room. I am present on both sides of that wall, and I am not asking either of you to strain to hear the other in order to know that you are both being watched over. I am guarding the dark that now unsettles you.
I am the same light in the darkness that I have always been, and I am not frightened by anything the night could ever hold. I am guarding your home against fire, against harm, against every danger your mind rehearses before sleep. I am not asking you to stop being wise and prepared. I am simply asking you to let me carry the fear itself, so preparation does not have to come with dread attached to it. I am guarding you even in your solitude.
I already know exactly who would notice, exactly how quickly help would come, exactly how this would unfold if anything ever happened. You are never as unaccounted for as your fear tells you at night. I am guarding your sleep after a nightmare shakes you awake. I am present in the racing heartbeat, and I am slowing it gently, the same way I calm every storm, inside you and around you. I am guarding the ones you wait up for. I already know the road they are driving, and I am bringing them home safely, whether or not you manage to stay awake until you hear the car. I am guarding you through the vulnerability of unconsciousness itself. I do not sleep when you sleep. I remain fully present, fully awake, fully capable of protecting you. In every single hour, you cannot protect yourself. I am guarding the pendant on your nightstand, and the hands that might someday need to press it. I am already present in whatever moment that button is pressed, and I am present in every moment it is not. I am guarding your spouse's breathing beside you. You do not have to wake to confirm it every single time. I am listening even in the hours you finally allow yourself to stay asleep. I am guarding the creaks and settles of your home at night. I know the difference between the ordinary sounds of an old house and true danger, and I am not startled by a single one of them. I am guarding you after that quick prayer at bedtime. I heard it fully, and I am not waiting for you to say it more perfectly or believe it more completely before I begin watching. I start at the moment the thought crossed your mind. I am guarding you against the fear of simply not waking up. Whatever that morning eventually looks like, whenever it comes, I am already there, and I promise you, you are never more safe than in the hands of the one who does not slumber. I am guarding you through the exhaustion of your own vigilance. Tonight, and every night after this one, I am asking you to hand some of that watch over to me, so your body finally gets to experience what real, undefended rest feels like. I am guarding you even without the flashlight, the bat, the small defenses within reach of your bed. I am the true protection in that room, and I am not offended that you keep them close. I am simply asking you to let your mind rest even while they sit there. I am guarding the stove, the oven, every appliance you've already checked twice. I already know it is off, and I am adding my own watchfulness so a third trip across the house is no longer necessary tonight. I am guarding your mornings, your medications, your appointments. I am not asking you to trust one alarm alone. I am present in the waking itself, gently nudging you awake at exactly the moment you need to rise. I am guarding the darkness beyond that hallway light. You may keep the light on as long as it helps you, and I am present in the parts of the house it doesn't reach, exactly the same as the parts it does. I am guarding your home even though your routine is visible to the world. I see everyone who passes by, everyone who might mean harm, long before they ever reach your door, and I am not caught off guard by anything approaching your home. I am guarding the phone that might ring in the night. If someone you love truly needs you,
I am already working in that moment, whether or not you wake in time to answer. I do not depend on your alertness to help the people you love. I am guarding the silence of your house. I am present and full in that quiet, and I am gently teaching you that silence is not empty. It is simply the sound of a house where nothing is wrong tonight. I am healing the exhausting mental rehearsal of every what if. I already hold the answer to every scenario your mind loops through, and I am not asking you to solve emergencies that haven't happened before you're allowed to rest. I am healing the panic of waking from a nightmare about losing someone you love.
I am present with them right now, wherever they are, and I am gently calming your heartbeat even before you fully check that they're safe. I am healing the quiet fear of dying alone and not being found for days. I am with you in every single hour, seen or unseen by anyone else, and you are never as unaccounted for in my eyes as that fear tells you at night. I am healing the loss of the pet who used to stand watch with you. I am the true keeper of your home, with or without 4 legs and sharp ears beside you, and I have never once needed help noticing danger. I am healing the anxious vigilance during storms. I am the one who calms winds and waves with a word, and I am fully present in whatever weather passes over your home tonight, long before the warning ever appeared on your phone.
I am healing the guilt of wanting rest while someone you love is unwell. Caring for them does not require you to be depleted. I can wake you the instant you're truly needed, even from a deep and healing sleep. I am healing the compulsion to check that camera app one more time. I already see every corner of your property, every hour of the night, and I am not missing a single thing your camera might fail to capture. I am healing the hypervigilance that followed your scare. I understand exactly why your body learned to stay on guard, and I am gently, patiently teaching it that it is safe to stand down again, one calm night at a time. I am healing the weight of always being the one who wakes first. I am not asking you to carry that role alone forever. I am already awake before you are, in every situation, and I am not relying on your ears to catch what mine never miss. I am healing the extra vigilance you carry when grandchildren stay over. I love them even more fiercely than you do, and I am watching every window, every lock, every small unfamiliar sound on the nights they sleep under your roof. I am healing the mental roll call you take before sleep. I already know exactly where everyone you love is tonight, and I am present with each of them individually, in whatever place they are, so you do not have to hold all of their locations in your mind alone. I am healing the flinch that comes with a distant siren. I already know exactly where it is headed, and I promise you, I am present in that moment for whoever it concerns, whether or not it has anything to do with the people you love. I am healing the new fear that followed your neighbor's break-in. I am aware of every threat before it ever reaches your street, and I am not caught off guard by anything approaching your home. I am healing the worry about your own reaction time. Whatever your body's pace has become, I am not depending on your speed to protect you. I am already present and already acting before you would even need to move. I am healing the vigilance around the monitors, the glucose readings, the vitals you check one last time. I already know exactly how your loved one is doing, in this moment and in every moment through the night. And I am gently caring for them even in the data you cannot see. I am healing the unease of unfamiliar places. I do not need your usual locks, your usual nightlight, your usual rituals to be present with you. I am fully myself in every room you will ever sleep in, familiar or not. I am healing the fear around your hearing, your eyesight, your changing senses. I am not limited by what your ears or eyes can detect. I perceive everything instantly, and I am not depending on your senses to notice what I already see. I am healing the light sleep you learned as a young parent, still running decades later. I am gently teaching your body that it is allowed to sleep as deeply now as the season of small children once required it not to. That season has passed, and rest is allowed to change with it. I am healing the worry over icy roads and early drives. I already know the road conditions before the weather app updates, and I am guiding safe travel for the people you love, long before you check a single forecast. I am healing the need to test every alarm and detector one more time. I already know the air in your home is safe, and I am adding my own watchfulness so you do not need to test it a second or third time tonight. I am healing the readiness you carry through fire and storm seasons. I am aware of every risk on the horizon before it ever reaches your door, and I am preparing a way through, even for dangers that never end up arriving. I am healing the wait for the sound of a car in the driveway. I am already traveling that road with the one you love, and I am bringing them home safely, whether or not you manage to stay awake to hear it happen. I am healing the quiet superstition that your worry is what keeps danger away. Your vigilance was never the thing protecting your home. I was, even on the nights you stayed up worrying. And I will keep doing so on the nights you finally let yourself rest instead. I am healing the worry over that porch light, that motion sensor. One more small system you feel you must maintain alone. I am the true light over your home, and I am not dependent on a single bulb to keep watch over your doorstep. I am healing the wariness that followed a scam attempt aimed at you. I am discerning every true threat from every false one long before it reaches your phone, and I am giving you wisdom to recognize danger without carrying suspicion into every quiet notification. I am healing the vigilance you now give an aging parent through that monitor. I love them as fiercely as you do, and I am listening in that room even in the moments you finally allow yourself to drift into deeper sleep. I am healing the fear of a fall, a side effect, a body that responds differently to medication than it used to. I am steadying you, even in sleep, and I am not asking you to stay half awake in order to remain safe through the night. I am healing the weight of the day's news carried silently to bed. I am sovereign over every trouble reported and every trouble unreported, and I am not asking you to carry the world's uncertainty on top of your own. I am healing the grief of a guardian who can no longer stand watch the way they once did, whether an aging pet or your own aging body. I was always the true guardian underneath every alert bark and every locked door, and I am not growing tired or slow the way anything else in this world eventually does. I am healing the worry over that humming medical equipment. I am attentive to every machine keeping someone you love comfortable tonight, and I will make sure you are woken instantly if anything truly needs your attention. I am healing the habit of assigning yourself the very last watch. You are allowed to let go before everyone else does. I am already awake long after the whole house has fallen asleep, and I do not need you to be the final one still standing guard. I am healing the unease that comes with the changing clocks, the disrupted rhythm, the extra tiredness that follows. I am steady regardless of what the clock says, and I am not thrown off by an hour gained or lost. I am healing the light sleep you learned as a young parent, still running decades later. I am gently teaching your body that it is allowed to sleep as deeply now as the season of small children once required it not to. That season has passed, and rest is allowed to change with it. I am healing the worry over icy roads and early drives. I already know the road conditions before the weather app updates, and I am guiding safe travel for the people you love long before you check a single forecast.
I am healing the need to test every alarm and detector one more time. I already know the air in your home is safe, and I am adding my own watchfulness so you do not need to test it a second or third time tonight. I am healing the readiness you carry through fire and storm seasons. I am aware of every risk on the horizon before it ever reaches your door, and I am preparing a way through, even for dangers that never end up arriving. I am healing the wait for the sound of a car in the driveway. I am already traveling that road with the one you love, and I am bringing them home safely, whether or not you manage to stay awake to hear it happen. I am healing the quiet superstition that your worry is what keeps danger away. Your vigilance was never the thing protecting your home. I was, even on the nights you stayed up worrying. And I will keep doing so on the nights you finally let yourself rest instead. I am healing the worry over that porch light, that motion sensor. One more small system you feel you must maintain alone. I am the true light over your home, and I am not dependent on a single bulb to keep watch over your doorstep. I am healing the wariness that followed a scam attempt aimed at you. I am discerning every true threat from every false one long before it reaches your phone, and I am giving you wisdom to recognize danger without carrying suspicion into every quiet notification. I am healing the vigilance you now give an aging parent through that monitor. I love them as fiercely as you do, and I am listening in that room even in the moments you finally allow yourself to drift into deeper sleep. I am healing the fear of a fall, a side effect, a body that responds differently to medication than it used to. I am steadying you, even in sleep, and I am not asking you to stay half awake in order to remain safe through the night. I am healing the weight of the day's news carried silently to bed. I am sovereign over every trouble reported and every trouble unreported, and I am not asking you to carry the world's uncertainty on top of your own. I am healing the grief of a guardian who can no longer stand watch the way they once did, whether an aging pet or your own aging body. I was always the true guardian underneath every alert bark and every locked door, and I am not growing tired or slow the way anything else in this world eventually does. I am healing the worry over that humming medical equipment. I am attentive to every machine keeping someone you love comfortable tonight, and I will make sure you are woken instantly if anything truly needs your attention. I am healing the habit of assigning yourself the very last watch. You are allowed to let go before everyone else does. I am already awake long after the whole house has fallen asleep, and I do not need you to be the final one still standing guard. I am healing the unease that comes with the changing clocks, the disrupted rhythm, the extra tiredness that follows.
I am steady regardless of what the clock says, and I am not thrown off by an hour gained or lost. I am healing the worry you carry for the ones traveling tonight. I already know every mile of their journey, and I am with them on that road, in that cab, on that shift, just as fully as I am with you in your bed.
I am healing the need to double-check that charging cable. I am your true help in trouble, not a battery percentage. And I am present whether your phone is at 1% or fully charged. I am healing the residual anxiety after your bedtime prayer. Your words do not need to work harder to earn safety. I heard them fully the first time, and I am acting on them before you even finished the sentence. I am healing the extra weight you carry for the one person whose situation worries you most. I already hold their safety fully in my hands, and I am not asking you to hold it as tightly as you have been. I am healing the startle of your own home's small, unexpected sounds. I am not surprised by anything in that house, and I am gently teaching your body to tell the difference between an ordinary click and a true reason for concern. I am healing the mental rehearsal of every emergency number. I already know exactly how to reach help in any situation, and I am not depending on your memory alone to keep the people you love safe. I am healing the instant alertness that replaced your once easy sleep. I am gently retraining your body toward deeper, longer stretches of rest, patiently, the same way I restore everything else that time has worn thin. I am healing the habit of measuring your sleep instead of simply receiving it. Rest was always meant to be a gift, not a project to manage. I am teaching you, slowly, how to receive it as freely as it was always intended. I am healing that quiet moment of surrender before sleep, when hope is all you have to hold on to. That surrender was never foolish. It has always been one of the clearest forms of trust, and I receive it every single night with the same tenderness a father receives a child finally willing to let go. You do not have to earn a safe night's sleep by staying half alert through all of it. You do not have to prove your love for your family by refusing to fully rest. Guarding was always meant to be shared work between you and me, and I am fully capable of taking the night shift every single night for the rest of your life. If this message is bringing you comfort tonight, subscribe and share it with someone else who has been quietly standing guard through their nights. There is likely someone in your life right now, someone living alone, a caregiver listening for every sound, a parent waiting up for a child, who has never once let themselves fully sleep. Let this be the message that gives them permission to finally rest. Maybe it is a widow or widower on your street, who now sleeps in an empty house for the first time in decades. Maybe it is a friend whose adult child still drives home late on weekends. Maybe it is your own sibling, quietly exhausted from checking on an aging parent every few hours through the night. Send this to them tonight. Let it be the reminder that the watch was never meant to be carried alone. Now, my child, let's talk honestly about the doubts that come with a fear like this. You may think, but bad things really do happen while people sleep. Isn't it irresponsible to just let my guard down? My child, being wise is not the same as staying in constant vigilance. You can still lock your doors, keep your phone charged, and take every sensible precaution, while also trusting that the outcome of the night does not rest entirely on your own alertness. Preparation and peace were never meant to cancel each other out. You may think,
What if something happens and I was asleep and could have prevented it? You are not capable of preventing everything, and you were never assigned that impossible task. I am the one who holds outcomes, not you. Your responsibility ends at reasonable care. The rest has always belonged to me. You may think, what if I finally let myself sleep deeply, and I don't wake up in time if something goes wrong? I promise you, I am not limited by how deeply you sleep. I am not waiting for your alertness to notice a problem. I see, hear, and respond in ways your own five senses never could, even at their sharpest. You may think, isn't this fear just proof that I don't have enough faith? Fear at night is one of the most common, most human experiences there is. Even David, a man after my own heart, wrote in Psalm 4, I will both lie down in peace and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. A verse written by someone who clearly knew what it felt like to be afraid of the dark, and who chose to say the truth of his fear out loud to me, rather than pretend it wasn't there. You may think, what if I let my guard down, and it's the one night something actually happens? I am not asking you to be careless. I am asking you to let go of the belief that your exhaustion is the only thing standing between your family and disaster. That belief was never true, even on your most vigilant nights. I was always the true watchman, even when you didn't know to thank me for it. You may think, but I've always been the one who handles emergencies. What happens if I stop being ready? Being ready and being unable to rest are not the same thing. I am not asking you to throw away your good judgment or your preparedness. I am asking you to stop believing that your constant alertness is the only thing generating your family's safety. You can keep your phone charged and still sleep deeply. You can trust me and still be sensible. You may think, what if this fear never fully goes away, no matter how much I pray about it? Even if the fear visits you again some nights, that does not mean tonight's prayer failed. Healing a fear this old often happens gradually, one calmer night at a time, rather than all at once. I am not disappointed in you for needing to return to this prayer again and again, until your body finally learns to trust it. So tonight, let go of the belief that you alone are responsible for keeping the night safe. Let go of the fear that rest is a risk you cannot afford to take. Real rest was never carelessness. It has always been one of the clearest signs of trust. Now, my child, let us pray together. Place your hand over your heart and repeat these words, either out loud or quietly in your spirit. Father, tonight I bring you the vigilance I have carried through so many nights, the checked locks, the listening ears, the fear of what could happen while I sleep. I confess that I have believed the safety of this house rests only on my own alertness. Tonight I release that belief into your hands. Thank you for being the one who neither slumbers nor sleeps, for watching over what I cannot watch over myself. Guard my home, guard my body, guard the people I love through every hour of this night. Let me sleep fully, deeply, trusting that you are keeping watch. In your name, amen. And if there is one specific fear tonight that keeps you from fully resting, a particular worry about your health, your home, or someone you love who is out tonight, bring it to me now, by name, in your own words. Father, you already know exactly what is keeping me half awake tonight. You know the specific fear I have not said out loud to anyone. I lay it in your hands now.
I ask you to stand watch over it fully, so that I do not have to. Let me wake tomorrow having actually rested, not simply having survived another night of vigilance. Thank you for never once needing to close your eyes on my behalf. In your name, amen. Now, my child, let go. You do not have to check the locks a third time. You do not have to listen for one more sound before you let your body fully rest. Tonight, you only have to sleep. I am already standing watch over every door, every window, every quiet room of your home. Let your shoulders soften. Let your hands unclench. Let your breathing slow. In and out. Psalm 4 says, I will both lie down in peace and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. That safety is not dependent on how alert you manage to stay tonight. It has always depended on me. Psalm 91 says, He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. You will not fear the terror of the night. That terror is real to you, my child, and I am not dismissing it. I am simply standing between you and it, tonight and every night. Let your body grow heavy and calm. Let your breathing slow further. In and out. I am not sleeping tonight. I am not distracted, not resting, not looking away for even a single moment. I am fully present over your home, your body, the people you love. Every second you are unaware. Sleep now, my child. I am guarding the doors. I am guarding the windows. I am guarding the quiet, dark rooms you no longer need to check. I am guarding the breath of the ones you love, sleeping under the same roof or far away tonight. I am guarding your own heartbeat, your own breathing, your own body, exactly the way I always have, whether or not you were aware enough to notice. Let your mind grow quiet now, one worry at a time, the way a house grows quiet room by room until only a single soft light remains. That light is me. I do not blink. I do not doze. I do not lose focus somewhere in the middle of the night. I am fully here, fully awake, fully watching, for as long as you need me to. Rest now. You do not have to earn this rest by staying vigilant. You do not have to prove your love for your family by refusing to fully close your eyes. Let go of the locks you have already checked. Let go of the sounds you no longer need to strain to hear. Let go of the fear of not waking up, and trust instead that whatever tomorrow holds, I am already present in it. Whatever this house needs tonight, protection from harm, quiet through the dark hours, safety for everyone sleeping under its roof, I am already providing it before you even finish this thought. Whatever your body needs tonight, steady breath, a calm heart, deep and uninterrupted rest, I am already tending to it, gently, the way I have tended to you every night of your life, whether you noticed or not. Whatever the people you love need tonight, wherever they are sleeping, I am present there too, watching over them with the very same care I am pouring over you right now.
Psalm 127 says, "It is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep." That gift is for you tonight.
Not because you have finally worried enough, or checked enough, or stayed alert enough, but simply because I love you, and I have always wanted to give you real rest. Let every remaining worry grow smaller now. Let every remaining sound in the house become simply the ordinary sound of a home at peace, not a warning to investigate. Let your body sink fully into the mattress, fully supported, fully safe, fully done with its watch for tonight. I will guard your sleep tonight. I will guard your sleep tomorrow night. I will guard every night after that for as long as you need me to. Sleep now, beloved child. You are safe. You are watched over. You are not the last line of defense standing between your family and the dark. I am, and I have been, all along. Every lock you ever checked twice, I was already standing behind. Every sound you ever strained to hear in the dark, I already knew the source of before you woke. Every fear you have ever carried into sleep, I have already carried further than you ever could, into the morning, into tomorrow, into every night still ahead of you. You do not have to hold on to tonight's watch a moment longer. Let it go now, gently, the way you would hand something heavy to someone far stronger than you. I am strong enough for this. I have always been strong enough for this. Sleep now, and wake tomorrow having actually rested, not simply having survived one more night of vigilance, but having truly, fully let go, and found that everything was exactly as safe as I promised it would be. I will guard your sleep tonight. If you wake in the middle of the night, remember this before anything else. The fact that you woke does not mean something is wrong. It simply means your body stirred the way bodies do. And I am right here, exactly as awake and exactly as present as I was when you first closed your eyes. You can close them again. You do not need to check one more lock, listen for one more sound, or run through one more scenario before you do. I am already standing watch. I was standing watch before you woke, and I will be standing watch long after you fall back asleep. Rest now, and let me carry the watch for the rest of this night.